Hello, welcome to the first ever You Time podcast. I'm really excited. This is my first podcast, and I'm just super excited. So the name of this podcast is You Time, and the purpose of it is not to be about me, though I'm a talker and a storyteller, and I will go off on tangents. I promise you that. But the purpose of this podcast is for you to identify things that you can do to take care of you and how that can lead to a happier, healthier version of you. I know what you're thinking. How can I do that? I'm a mom. I'm a dad. I'm a partner. I have a career. I have kids. I shop. I do this. I do that. I just don't have time. The truth is, it's not that you don't have time. It's that you haven't given yourself permission yet to make yourself a priority. A little bit about me. My name is Cinna Wing, and yes, I will spell that for you. I've been spelling my name since before I could even really talk. It was one of the very first things I could do. So Cinna, which is a Norwegian name, is S as in Sam, Y, N as in Nancy, N as in Nancy, E, and my last name is Wing, like a bird's wing. W, I, N as in Nancy, G as in George. My name is Cinna Wing, at least for now. Hopefully it's going to change in the next year or two, but don't tell my boyfriend that yet because he doesn't know. So, where to start? Going back to self-care and making yourself a priority. We all wear lots and lots of hats, but there's one thing that is something that you have to know, which is you cannot take care of other people or successfully manage or create your life if you do not take care of yourself first. And it's not selfish. Believe me, it took a really, really long time for me to be able to do that for myself. It took something super, super profound, like rock bottom, time to make a change, time to take care of me. I've just got to take care of myself, or else there will be really, really dire consequences. And it's not selfish. I just decided one day I was going to give myself permission to put me first. And at first I had a lot of mom guilt. I am a part-time single mother of a now 10-year-old boy. His name is Cole, and he is super awesome. Greatest gift of my life. So let me see. I gave myself permission about 4 years ago, so he would have been 6. So as a part-time single mother of a 6-year-old. Now, I know for people who are married and have partners or are single, struggling parents, I do have an advantage because I do have some time carved out where I am not physically taking care of other people. And I know that is a blessing. Did I want to get divorced? No. Did I picture myself as a part-time single mother? No. Do I have a fantastic co-parenting system down with my ex and his girlfriend? Absolutely. And I just woke up after this really profound experience and said, I have to take care of myself to be the best mom I could be. And taking care of my son was my number one priority, but I could not take care of him unless I was taking care of myself. And believe me, at first there was a lot of mom guilt. Also, actually, there was guilt from my mom. She thought it was very selfish for me to spend one of the nights that I had with my son going to a support group that I so desperately needed. And I gave myself permission and I carved out a budget so that I could get a babysitter to come and stay with Cole for 2 hours once a week so that I could put my mental health and sanity literally first. And guess what? He is fine. He's more than fine. He is thriving. So I have to take care of myself to be the best mother, best partner, best employee that I can possibly be. Now, why a podcast? Well, besides the fact that they're super trendy, I am a talker. Ask anyone from my pediatrician when I was 3 years old to my current partner. I love, love, love to be social. And I am a storyteller, which I get from my dad. He is awesome at it. People have suggested that I write a book because of my love for storytelling and for a lot of obstacles, some of which I may share with you, I have overcome in my 43 years. I'm working hard at them. I will admit I am still a work in progress, and I will always, always be a work in progress. But here is the truth about me. I am a terrible, terrible speller. I'm a terrible speller, and I am a terrible typist. My brain and my thoughts move way faster than my fingers. The other thing you need to know about me is that I am not a type A. I just am not interested in being perfect because perfect gets in the way of being good or being great. I don't have the time, if I'm going to take care of myself, to make sure that everything is perfect. So I've given myself permission to spend some me time talking and sharing stories with you and sharing tips and pointers, which I truly, truly, truly hope that will help improve your quality of life. The other thing to know about me, and now I'm going full circle, is that I really, really love helping people. I went to graduate school to be a clinical social worker and spent time working as a therapist. I gave up that because, quite frankly, it didn't pay well, which is a really sad statement about our society. I did not go on to get licensed because I was so burnt out of working with people who really, really were at the lowest points in their life. And I got frustrated with the fact that there was a total lack of services. We do not take care of our sick and our elderly. I will not get into a political tangent about how messed up that is. So I've been working for years. I moved into the corporate world. I've had some success in that area. I focused a lot in the pain management niche, which I was really passionate about because if you read a newspaper or listen to the news, you know that we have a huge, huge opioid epidemic. Now we have an epidemic, and it's one of the worst things that's been going on. So I digress. So really, I love to help people. And I'm trying really hard to get back into helping people. And if that is something that I can do through this podcast, then all of my goals and wishes have come true. So I'm not currently writing for another reason, because I'm spending time practicing self-care. And quite frankly, a podcast is way more efficient. Now, don't get me wrong. I love words. I love creative writing. So I'm not ruling out a book for me in the future. But this podcast is this very, very first step. So my intention here is to start a weekly podcast with tips and pointers for practicing self-care, putting yourself first, loving yourself. That will help you be the best version of you that you can be. You will see how that spills over to all other areas of your life. Going back, I am a total podcast junkie. You will hear me say, both in my personal life and in my professional life, so many times, so I was listening to this great podcast. I listen to all different kinds of podcasts. I listen to practical podcasts, funny podcasts, mindless podcasts, and really, really inspiring podcasts. And I will do my best to give credit where credit is due, because I am not at all the first person to tell you that part of living a full, successful, happy life is taking care of yourself. So a few of the people that I find really inspirational and that I'm totally hooked on right now is Rachel Hollis and Tony Robbins, and also Mel Robbins. They are huge and they're fantastic. Oh, and a shout out to Gretchen Rubens too with her Happiness podcast. I love it. So disclosure, I am not in any way affiliated with any of them. I just think they're awesome. And you may also hear me talk about different services, products, things of the like, but I am not being paid or endorsed to support, promote any of them, at least not yet. So in the spirit of being brief, which I am absolutely terrible at, by the way, the mission of UTime is to help you learn to give yourself permission to put yourself first. I'm going to try to give you steps towards self-care that will allow you to be the very best you. So the first assignment I have for you is to make a list of what you like to do. Sounds like a very obvious thing, but when our lives are full of taking care of other people and working full-time or working part-time or taking care of elderly parents or taking care of infants or being your go-to person for your friends, you take on a heavy, heavy burden, and number one, which is you, gets pushed to the wayside. So make a list and figure out what feeds your soul. Think about it really, really hard and write it down. You can brainstorm or come up with 20 things or even just one, but write it down. Identify what it is that feeds your soul. A lot of the time we say, I don't have the financial resources for that. You know, for me, one of the things that I like to do, and part of who I am, is that I almost always have my nails nicely done. I spend $30 a month getting my nails done. I think you could probably scrape together $30 a month if manis and petties are your things. If you cannot scrape together $30 a month for a manicure, be creative. You can go to your local drugstore, buy an emery board for 99 cents, and pick out your favorite polish for $8 and a bottle of nail polish remover for $2 and spend an hour once a week doing your nails. That's just one example. Another example, if your budget's even tighter and you're even more pressed for time, make yourself a cup of tea. Just sit down and make yourself a cup of tea. It feeds the soul, it nourishes you, it makes you breathe, and it makes you slow down. So again, those are a couple of mine. I have a huge list. I've given myself permission to have a pretty huge list, and it's pretty rad that I'm learning how to put myself first, and I'm giving myself permission to put myself first. So again, your first homework assignment is to make a list or even one small thing that you can do to build into your week or even your month to put yourself first. You need some you time. So I guess this is it for my very first podcast. I'm hoping that this will be one of many. I'm hoping that this will be a weekly thing. Feel free to reach out to me. I have a new Gmail account. It's utime2019@gmail.com. utime, all one word, 2019@gmail. I cannot wait to hear how you are starting to take better care for yourself. I promise I will share some of the responses I got from people during my next podcast. I hope that you have an awesome week. I hope that you sparkle and shine, and I hope that you take 5 minutes to put yourself first.